Alright, apparently I get disconnected right at the beginning of it. Go figure. Anyways, let me try that again. Take two, right? I am long live, right? So, hello everybody, and welcome back. It's Creative Redundancy back again. I think I'm on. Alright. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Alright, alright. I think I'm good now. I think I'm good now. I was getting these buffer rings, a white ring there. I think I'm buffering too. Alright. Hopefully I'll be able to stay on top of things. Let me know on the side chat if I'm buffering or anything, or if it's too difficult or something like that. I'm seeing my preview right now, it looks like it's buffering. I think I might be good now. Really hope I'm good now. So welcome everybody to this live creation mode with me. Took me a little bit to set it up, had to set up the stage and all that good stuff. So let me whip out the side chat here, or pop up the side say. I think I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on the YouTube side just to make sure everything's good. I'm still buffering. Not sure why I'm buffering so bad. I keep getting disconnected from OBS. OBS keeps disconnecting on me here. I'm hoping it'll turn out well now. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Not sure why it's doing that to me right now. I thought it was like good. But clearly, I not that great right now. Hopefully, it should be good now. I think it is, anyways. Yeah, it looks like I'm coming back better again. I seem to. I think I know why. Alright, leave me a 1 on the screen right now if it's good again. It should be good now. Doesn't look like I'm buffering. Alright. Anyways, let me start and whip up the intro here. And of course, boom! CR's in the house. Hi everyone. Of course I got all the stage props out. Hi. Hopefully everyone's doing good out there. I'm just gonna check, make sure. I didn't think I was gonna be buffering too bad, but clearly I should have did a check beforehand. I think I'm good now. Looks like it. I have the preview on the YouTube side so I can actually see it, so it looks like I'm doing good. I don't see that ring thing, white ring thing. I do appreciate everyone jumping in. Now that I'm not buffering so badly here, I can actually say hi to everyone, which include Prep for a Canoe, Hound Adventures, Mo Homesteading, Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures, Mary Carter. Hi, okay, I'm good, right? I think I'm good now. Yeah! Finally! I think I'm good. I think I'm good now. I think I'm good now. I think I'm good now. Let me just pop up the side chat so I can actually see it. What's up, Josh? How's it going? I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop by this creation mode plus chit chat time with me. And yes, there is things I'm gonna be creating. So remember, if you're enjoying it, to yeah. Oh, this is a preview of what's to come. Yes, I still have this. It's one of the stage props I have. There's things I have right behind me that I will be creating. I'll be and dropping apparently. So I will be creating with a few different things. What's up, Gray? How's it going? I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in right now. So leave me a 1 on the screen on the side chat if things are good now. Volume should be good. Video shouldn't be choppy. Shouldn't be lagging. Really prep for it. You guys are so funny. And literally, I mean so. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And apparently I dropped something. So why do I create? Why does CR, creative redundancy here? Why do I create? I've gone through this before in a different live stream. Why do I create? It's because, well, why not? To be honest, I mean, I think we all out there are creators in some form or fashion. Maybe you're more that crafty type of creator, artwork. You know, maybe you're painting oil paintings, water paintings, and stuff like that. You know, maybe you draw. I mean, I'll show you guys something right here. I'll show you guys something right here that I drew. As I make sure I don't show too much here. Pull it out. Here's something I drew a long time ago. I still haven't finished it, but clearly you can tell what it is. I never did finish it. That's just something I've done in the past. I think that's about like 5 years old. I know, something I created like 5 years old and I still haven't finished it. Alright. Anyways. I was just reading the side chat here. Seems like I'm still good, right? Yeah. Just making sure everything's still good on my YouTube side of things. So I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop by, but like I was saying, we're all creators in some form or fashion. Maybe you're into drawing, crafting, something like what I just showed about drawing. I'm not the best drawer, to be honest. When I was growing up, school and stuff like that, there was always that person in school that was always that person that was like really awesome at drawing. Like, they're the kind of person that they can make like a drawing with a pen, like this pen that I created. Oh yes, see, you can see that pen. It's something I just put together. Not a normal type of pen that you might see. But they were so good at it, they could draw in pen like great. While I was just like trying to learn how to like draw with pencil and erasing my lines and stuff like that. They were good at shading with pen. I'm like trying to like learn how to like draw and shade and all that good stuff with just pencil. But also I came a long way since. Hello FFP, Food Forest Permaculture in the house, and thank you for taking the time to drop in on this live stream with, well, you know, CR. Like it says on my forehead. See? See, Food Forest Permaculture has seen this before, because I created it during a live stream. And then I've been using it as a stage prop ever since, just like this one, which came later on. Oh yes, this is a stage prop too. Something else I made. Something else I've been working on. So I do appreciate everyone dropping in, which includes Southern Ohio Prepping. What's up? How's it going? I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in right now. Now we'll begin into the creation mode right away here. So, in the meantime, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, you can do one of these things and water the light to make it grow, as I say. Can you be more specific, Mo Homesteading? I just showed a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm just making sure that we're on the same page here. Stone carving. Oh, okay, FFP. So, anyways, like I was saying, we're all creators out there in some form or fashion. And like I said, we all can create a better future starting today. It's never too late to start creating, that's for sure. Where it be crafting, painting, drawing, maybe you're drawing with just pencil crayons, something like that. Cooking. Cooking is a form of creating too. Now, cooking is definitely a form of creating, just because you're putting ingredients together. You're bringing stuff that's like kind of in a raw state. Flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, sugar, and literally creaming it together. I think that's the word, right? I think that's the word that they use, and creaming it together to make something, and adding in ingredients like that to make something like bread. That's a form of creating. A form of creating that's really delicious too. I do enjoy cooking too. I'm not the best cook, but I did learn about little things. I mean, I'm not the best cook, but I do my thing for cooking. I've baked before. I've cooked before, of course. It's just something that nowadays, with everyone's busy lifestyles and stuff like that, people kind of forget about that home cooked meal. I mean, personally, I'd rather have a home cooked meal than going out to eat some sort of fast food or faster food. Just because, personally, I'd rather have home cooked meal just because it tastes better. It's more filling. I kind of know what goes into it. I saw the ingredients that go into it. Maybe I'm making something with apples, like apple crumble or apple crisp. Now, when I was a kid, when I was younger, that was one of the first things I learned to kind of cook, give or take. Was like apple. I think it was apple crisp. I still remember that too. It was one of the first things I learned in kind of classes like that when I was attending in school. All right, all right. I'm just reading. Oh, bland. Okay, okay. What's up, RV Lucky? Well, now I feel kind of more lucky because RV Lucky's in the room with me. Well, in the chat, anyways. And welcome. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it. How's it going, RV Lucky? Oh, that's really cool, RV. And that's another thing about cooking is I know some people actually don't know how to cook. I'm just like, they can open up a can and heat it up, but kind of making, for example, since you guys mentioned chicken, making homemade chicken noodle soup. I remember I was over at my friend's place, and we were kind of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Cutting up some chicken and stuff like that. My friend used the bones and the leftover stuff, the offcuts and all that stuff. We made a broth with it, heated it up, and stuff like that. Added in the chicken later, added in some sort of noodle in later. I think we added in some vegetables later. Kind of made a homemade chicken noodles type of soup. Man, that was good. You know, it always reminds me of what I always say on the live streams. I really should eat before I join a live stream, and I probably should have ate before I actually started this live stream. Because now thinking about all this food is making me hungry. Well, at least I got coffee. Well, eventually I'll have coffee. I'm just having it made in the back right now. I'll probably have to go get it in a little bit. My mug or cups in the room. I forgot to bring it in before I start the live stream, but it's all good. Okay, probably get it in like very shortly here. Because coffee and creating go hand in hand with me, just like hockey stick and hockey puck. Because of course, clearly, I'm in the land of the make believe. I know people ask me at times. They're like, "Hey, CR, where do you live?" or something similar to that. I'm like, I just put up this. All I gotta do is just put up this emoji right here. Well, it's not letting me put it on the screen, but you know what I mean. The maple leaf emoji, because that says it all. Or I could put snow or something like that. Or what I'm kind of calling snow nowadays. My new way of saying snow. White frozen rain. I came up with it the other day. I was just like, yeah, that kind of accurately describes it. And someone sounds nicer than using that S word. Yeah. Oh wow, prep for it. Best of luck on that. Hopefully that all turns out good for you. Well, speak of good, you know it's a-okay when. Oh wait, when a-okay Forging and Adventures comes into the room. Boom. Hello, Tack. And of course, I'll randomly wave to Brenda. Randomly. Maybe she's in the back listening or watching too. Hi, how's it going? I do appreciate you taking the time to drop by. This creation mode, which I'll start momentarily, and just chit chat. I just kind of wanted to get more of the chit chat out of the way a little bit more. And I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in this live stream with CR. Show you guys a close up of it. It's something, I like creating with scraps a lot, and literally these were scraps. I was just looking at it, I'm like, hey, it's got CR in it. I'm like, I gotta create with that. And I did. So instead of just tossing it, filling up landfill, the whole piece that came with it, I decided to use some of it to create a stage prop. You guys like that? I might be talking a little bit loud because I'm coming closer to the mic. So I'll whisper a little bit more. Show you guys that. Yes, I got hook and loops on. Basically, it's just hook and loops. It's just stuck to me. Then later on, I made these two right here. And I also made, I'll show you guys something else I made. I think it's sitting behind me here. Something else I made here. It's really cool. Look at this. This is something else I made. Isn't this kind of cool? This is something I just made with scraps too. And the beauty about this, You're probably like, oh, CR, what's so special about this? It's because similar to how you may know someone that improvises and knows how to make stuff with a paperclip. Yes, we do know who that is. I don't. I'm pretty sure you guys are all well versed in that kind of show. But what I could do, I could make stuff with this. It kind of reminds me of a paperclip, and I guess I'll be starting creation mode with something like this, something I've made, so I can actually do various things with this, which includes something like, let's see here, let's see if I can do this here. Something like, I think you could tell what that says. It says go. It's just something I have. So yes, this is something that I've been making. Because I kind of figure since I'm gonna be doing oh, it's upside down, doing that in a little bit, I figure I might as well bring this out. This is just something really easy too. It's just something with a piece of wire, and that thread that you're seeing is all reclaimed thread. So on this piece of wire, wrapped it around, and I made something out of it, and that's something I can use. And I kind of figure I can actually use this as a pointing thing, so I can point at things such as this or that or something like that. All right, Mary. It's cool, it's cool. I do appreciate you taking the time to drop in, and of course, take care as well, which I can actually point to. All right, thanks, Tack. Do appreciate it. Oh yeah, yeah, for I was just making this for. I was just like, I had this idea. I was just kind of like, doing that these thing, and it just came to mind. Originally, I was gonna do it another way, but I was like, wait a second. I got this highly reflective thread. Yes, this is reclaimed thread. I have a video on it about free thread that you can get off certain little things. There's a video on this channel about it. I'll try to link it in, or end screen it later or whatever. It is on the channel, so you can go check it out. But really easy, dude. Just pretty much, I just took like this kind of wire that you might see coming in from like packaging or whatever you purchase something, XYZ product. I was just like thinking, I'm like, for anyone that's familiar with those produce ties, those green ones, that's actually kind of why I've kind of thought about it. I was just like, hey, wait a second, I can actually make something out of it. I'm just checking my. I don't think I'm buffering anymore. Just good. All right. That was fast. Hack. So yeah, this is just something I made. I mean, I could probably do a lot of different things with it. And I do have another one here. Do have another little one that I made. See? So yes, I actually did make these as more like a stage prop for me to use. So let me turn it right. Maybe I'll hope if I'm actually looking at it. I'm trying to do it backwards, but it's just something I can just put on. Like literally, I probably could like put it between my glasses right now. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, well, anyways. Anyways. but this is just another stage prop for it. And I figured now would be a good time to introduce it. So now you guys gotta give me a second here. Talk amongst yourselves for a very brief moment here while I go get that coffee. I gotta go get that coffee because it's creation mode time, and you guys came here to watch me create. So I'm gonna go get that coffee real fast here because it's ready, and I would like a cup. All right, don't worry, guys. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Just had to turn off the coffee maker and put my coffee in the thermos. And boom, Sierra's back, obviously. Hey, it's Plano Chug! What's up? What's up? How's it going? Thanks for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Actually, actually, if I remember, I didn't. No, I forgot. No, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Forget what I said. Oh, you funny, Chuck. You funny. You funny. You funny. You funny. So yeah, coming back to this for a little bit here. I was just like, when I first started using it, I was just like, oh, what can I do with this? I'm just like, I can actually do a lot of different things, such as make a heart. And let's see if I can actually do this. I'm not actually gonna attempt this. I don't think I've actually done this yet. A certain way. Wait. I'm working on it. Wait. I'm trying to make something really cool randomly and improvise this. Um, um, that's supposed to be a thumbs up. That's supposed to be a thumbs up. You know, just in case you haven't done that already. It's supposed to be a thumbs up. But I was kind of like at a place for a little bit. I had this in my hands, and people are just looking at me and just like I'm just like making these words and shapes in front of them. Or, you know, I was just whatever was going on at that time. I was just like kind of mimicking it and just like spelling words and stuff out. I actually want a longer one so I can actually write something longer out. Maybe eventually, maybe I'll actually, now that I think about it, if I have a much longer one, wouldn't it be really cool to have one that actually says, not just CR, like it says on this smaller one, but actually where it actually says my full channel name in there? Wouldn't that be cool? It might take a bit. Now, obviously, the idea is to make it so it's continuous, because obviously it's a continuous amount of wire. Show you guys that. Nothing too complicated. You probably could make it in your own color or whatever. I just kind of made it with reflective, this yellowish reflective thread. For some reason that was really difficult to say. I just now have a sip of coffee here. So cheers with my coffee. Hey, that's okay, Tack. I do appreciate you taking the time to drop by. And like always, take care as well. Like it says up on my top right hand corner right there. And speaking of which, I'll explain this one too. See, I actually created this from scratch. Just really, I have brought it into a video and stuff like that, but I decided to start bringing it into a live stream too. Nothing too complicated. There's some simple photo imaging editing software you probably could do very similar things, even with free or open source software. It's not too complicated. You know, something like GameShop or something like that. Anyways, so you guys, leave me a one on the screen if you want to see some creation mode time, cause I don't hear you, cause I really don't hear you. You guys got to show me. Who wants to see the creation mode time? Cause you guys came in for creation mode time, right? Cause I think I've done enough chit chat already for the last half an hour already. And just to entice you guys in what I kind of create with, because I actually haven't finished one anyways. Such as this. This is homemade. I created this with scraps. None of this material, none of it, aside from the tools, were bought. Bought. I didn't actually spend any money on this. Nice simple case. Nice simple kind of pouch case. You're probably wondering, oh, Sierra, what do you put in it, or what do you use it for? Whatever fits inside, right? It's a container. And of course, container also has CR in it, by the way, because it starts with it and ends with R. But basically, this is just something that, I can put whatever I wanted. Just, the only real limit to what I put inside is, like, whatever can fit inside. Like this pen I have right here, it'll fit inside. It'll fit inside. And of course, I truly believe that we all can create out there. Any one of you can do something like this, create something similar to this, sew something similar to this. I do have another Canadian subscriber, and they're like, they cook well, and maybe they'll come in. It'll be kind of funny if they came in right now, but they're always like, they tell me, they're like, CR. I'm like, yeah, what's up? I wish I can sew like you do. I can cook. I can't really sew. I'm like, I don't sew that great, to be honest. I mean, I took sewing when I was in school, but I just more recently came back into doing it again. You might think, oh, that looks so great, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's not bad, But to be honest, it's not really straight on this side. When I look at it, it's not. I mean, you can kind of tell. It looks fairly straight. That's because, well, I adjusted it. Very simple. Very simple. I have a couple of videos on this and all that good stuff. So let me welcome into the room, who actually was in the room before I started. The urban prepper. I shouldn't say the, but Urban Prepper 34. What is up? Thank you for taking the time to drop in. And of course, who else drops in at the same time? My buddy, G Things out Doors! Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to drop in this live stream with CR, like it says on the screen. Like, everywhere. Thanks for taking the time to drop in, guys. I appreciate it. How's it going? Hopefully everything's going well with you, and not just you guys, but everyone else that's kind of dropping in. If you're watching this on the replay, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this on the replay. And of course, I do appreciate everyone watching this live. I do appreciate it. So much so that I'm actually gonna do something here. Yeah, I got one of these. I got one of these harmonicas. Yeah, I still can't play it though. Everyone's like, can you play something? I'm like, I can not play anything great yet. I'm hoping one of these days I'll get better at this. Besides just doing that. I'm hoping one of these days I'll get better at doing it. So what I'm gonna do here is, because actually I want to do this right here. See, here's a pouch. There'll be a close up or another video on it where I show a little bit more of it, but you'll see at the top. Oh, geez, should have lined it up better. You'll see that the flap's still not there. I mean, the flap's still kind of not sewn in. I still actually have to finish sewing this. I've already hemmed the edge of this right here. You might be able to. Let me open up. See, I can let a little bit of light in. I didn't want to. It's sunny out, and I didn't want to get all white washed out with the light. So just in case you're wondering why it's so dark in here, it's actually not dark in here. I'm just trying to make sure it's not overly bright, or else, as you can see behind me, it'd be white washed out with the brightness. That thread that, man, I don't think you're gonna see that. That thread right there is actually this grayish thread that I have. And of course, this thread was reclaimed. I reclaimed it from, I think it was a Google product. I know. But it's just something I kind of did. And this is quite a bit. It's quite a bit of thread that I have here. And this is all continuous. Or pretty much continuous. What's up, Jackson? How's it going? Thanks for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it. Hey! It's the... Hi. Hey, Kaylin. Kaylin Strain's in the house with me. How's it going, Kaylin? Oh, I'm doing well. I do appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in. I'm just gonna get something out here. You might not be able to see this, but we all know what this is. It's so small. A sewing needle. I'll share a couple of stories about these sewing needles that I've... Oh. You know, as I got more into sewing lately, one thing is apparently really important. When you're using sewing needles, when it's not in use, or you're temporarily putting it down, always remember, put it somewhere secure. So you can use some sort of, what I like to use with my sewing kits is actually add a needle demon magnet in. Rare earth magnet. Now, something like this, not specifically like this, you can get round ones or whatever. You can get them off of like a pair of headphones, just like this headphone that I have on right now. So basically, when you're putting it down, it'll be on there. It's not gonna go anywhere. Because don't be like me and, let's just say, drop a sewing needle in your pocket randomly because you your arm was on the table where the sewing needle was, and it fell off the table. It fell in your pocket, and you're looking for it for the next 20 minutes. Then try to reach into your pocket and realize that it's been in your pocket the whole time. Yeah, yeah. I've done that. I've done that twice now, where I'm just like, really? Did I just? But yeah, this is why I tend to keep a neodymium magnet, rare earth magnet with my sewing needles. The sewing kits I have, which we'll see later on, not in this live stream, but in future videos, you're gonna see neodymium magnets with them, rare earth magnets, because it just goes hand in hand, and it makes it so when I'm not using it, like I am right now, I can put it on there. You know, especially if you're using smaller ones or narrower ones. I mean, some of the bigger ones are easier to notice, but sometimes I've had it where I'm like, oh, I just dropped a sewing needle, and it's just like, I know it didn't go far because I didn't move that far, but I just like trying to find it. I'm like, where is it? How did I lose it? But then it ends up like behind something, underneath something, or like in my pocket randomly. I'm just like, really? Where I'm just giving that kind of face palm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got one of those tomato things that you can put sewing needles or push pins in. But then it's kind of big to bring that with me all the time. I mean, for here at home or whatever, it's fine. But I just tend to use these rare earth magnets instead. They just seem to fit in there and stuff like that. It's not the only way, but I do like having them just because if I like right now, oh, I just finished sewing something. I just need to put it down before and get some more thread before I start something, and I could be like, boom, put it there. It's not done because it's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna be able to notice that a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do here is actually do this kind of thing right now, like I said. This actually I'm not going. Hold on, sorry. It's actually sitting behind me here. Remember this one that I just showed? This gray one right here. Well, let's just say here's the rest of it. I wasn't kidding about it. You're probably like, oh, that's a jumble mess. Well, not really, because I could just pull it off like this. I'm actually gonna do it right now. Oh yeah, it's hidden behind you. And while you guys are listening to me here, I'll show you guys something else that I made a long time ago that you might not have seen. I've shown this on the channel on streams before. I made this long time ago. Remember when I said about cooking and learning about it in school? Let's just say this was part of the sewing class. That was part of it. It's in the shape of a heart. It's got vegetables on it. I made this a long time ago. I mean, like, now this, I'm pretty sure this is not hand sewn. I'm pretty sure I used a sewing machine for something like that. But this is something I made a long time ago. So, just in case if anyone's wondering, I guess I've been creating for a fairly long time. Remember what I said about the sewing needles? I almost did that again. So I'm putting it back on the neodymium rare earth magnet right now. Alright, Jeep thanks. Oh yeah, I've done that before too, Kayla. But usually I should be able to see it. Now, if you dropped it in something like carpet or something like that, I guess that's a good idea. Because usually I'm dropping it on the floor, where I'm just like, I should be able to see. And then, where I'm actually taking a flashlight trying to see, I'm like, really, I still can't see it. Then I find out it's like 2, 3 feet behind me or something like that, or underneath something. I remember this one time too, where I had this laptop, and I just realized it was clinging to the speaker that I had, or a pair of headphones. I'm just like, really, that's where it went off to. That's why I didn't notice it, because it's not on the floor. It's on my laptop or something like that. Just sitting underneath by a speaker or something, where just the magnetism in the speaker is strong enough to kind of be like, whoom. So you guys can't see this laptop I have in front of me, but basically where the keyboard would be. So if my hand was the keyboard, there would be speaker areas, and actually these sewing needles actually stick to that. So when I'm like, that's a good spot for me to put them. And I'm just kind of threading this needle right here real quick. So bear with me. You know, sometimes seriously, I had it in there, and then of course I pulled it back out. I was doing this live stream where I was showing this, and just like, I had such a hard time at threading it at times. I mean, sometimes I can thread it just like right now, where it's just like, it's on there right away. You could see that's on there. You can see that sewing needle is just on there. Let's then put a knot in there real quick, because I'm actually using this reclaimed thread right now to kind of finish off this outer pouch. And I guess it would be a good idea if I actually put the knot in there. I was just like, I just put the knot on the end of the line when I was actually supposed to put the knot in there. Secure the sewing needle that I have in here. Alright, there we go. So you can see that there. And of course, as you can see here, the rare earth magnet is pretty strong. I'm actually shaking it. It's not coming off, so it's strong enough. Oh, sorry, I dropped something. Cup of Joe! Speak of Cup of Joe! Cheers with my Cup of Joe. It's mostly black coffee right now. So what I'm gonna do, see on the end of the thread, I guess this would be the standing end, if I believe the terminology is right. So I'm gonna put a knot in there. Some sort of stopper knot near the end. So now that I have this on here, what I'm gonna do here, you might see something I might be using. Because sometimes when I'm doing stuff, well, I'll just use the more common cliche kind of phrase. You know, problems are the mother of all inventions, right? So sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I'm just like, these things happen where I'm just like, oh, I wish I should make something to help deal with this problem or issue, so it's not so tedious or time consuming. So you might see that in there. You know what? Why not? Should be sitting right here. I thought I had it in front of me. I thought I had. I thought I had it in front of me. Yeah. Well, how can you tell I'm doing this live? because I'm dropping stuff and misplacing it randomly once I do this. But that's why sometimes I want to show this kind of stuff being created live. I mean, and show and the videos that I've shown, it's like a condensed version. You're not seeing the time-consuming process in it. That's why I want to kind of show this live. Show you guys kind of, as much as CR creates here, as much as I create, and yes, of course I create a lot of the time. I'm pretty sure that's a given. But as much as I create, sometimes I make mistakes. I'm human. Where I misplace things like anyone else out there and drop things right behind me because what I was looking for was right behind me. But I'm gonna show you guys something. You guys are gonna get a sneak peek on this, too. You guys want to see a sneak peek? Yeah? Yeah? I'm gonna show you guys a sneak peek on something that I made. You're probably like, let's see who knows what this is or what this is used for. I made this. This is something I made specifically for this reason. Specifically for this reason. So basically now, I'm pretty sure you guys can tell what I'm doing here. Yeah, it is for that reason. It's to help me sew. As you can see there, it's gonna help me sew here. So basically what I'm doing here is kind of hemming the edge here. Because like I said, there's still a gap at the top. So that's what I'm actually doing right here. So thread, sewing needle, and basically hemming the side. Bring it as close as possible. And this is actually helping me sew right now. So yes, sometimes when I'm creating, sometimes I create things to help me create some more. Because I always love when I'm, not only when I'm creating stuff, but creating stuff to help me create more. I mean, there's something about that where I'm just like, there's something about not just creating, but actually creating to create even more. Where it unlocks more potential just because, you know, the things that happen while you're creating where you're just like, oh, I wish I had this or that. Well, I made something. Yes, exactly. See, Kaylin knows exactly what it is. She's on her, she's on it. Yes, exactly. That's why I made it, Kaylin, in the first place. Just for this reason. Just for this reason. Because it also allows me to have grip. So if my hands are kind of more sweaty or something like that. Because I know sometimes when I'm sewing, the sewing needle, when I'm trying to grab it, it's sliding off my hand away just because the oil is naturally in your skin and something like that. But because I'm using this, I have a little bit more grip in it. And it also allows me to push the sewing needle in with relative ease, especially on thicker material or if I'm doing multiple layers like I am right now. So it's actually helping me be more productive because I'm not like trying to, you know, come on, get in there, come on, slide the sewing needle out. No, 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 I'm not dealing with that. I'm actually been planning to make more of these just because it seems very useful. Seems quite useful. And maybe in some form of fashion, I'll be able to nest this in somewhere in the sewing kit somehow on the outside, something like that. But as you might, let me open up some more later. See, I don't want to open up the windows too much because it'll be way too bright. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to. Yeah, see, that's really bright. And I don't like to put. I can turn on overhead light, but I don't like turning on the lights during the daytime. I mean, I could, but I'll just temporarily do it. I don't like doing it, by the way. I do not like doing it. But see, I turned the light on. You can see a little bit better now, as you can see. I don't like doing it just because it's daytime. I shouldn't be turning on lights during the daytime. Just feels like a waste of electricity. And every so often I'll turn it on just so you guys out there on the live, watching this live or on the replay can kind of notice it a little bit more, because obviously I'm sewing with dark stuff. But basically, I'm just gonna hemming it together as close as I can, kind of reinforcing it. I've already done this with the edge on there. Actually, let me turn this back on real quick. You might be able to see, you'll see that right there. That's all just hemmed using the same color thread. Yeah, I don't like doing that. And I can let the sunlight in, and it'll be really bright, but all the colors will get washed out, and you won't be able to see anything because it'll be too bright. So I was leaving this comment earlier on a video. I was just like, I was watching this sewing kid. I was just like saying something like, I'm probably the only one actually sewing while watching a video about a sewing kid. Because I actually was trying to do something else. You won't see that one yet because I still have to, well, because I want to show a video on it, but you might see that later on. Yeah, and that's a kind of hint about that. As I keep doing this. So remember, if you're enjoying what you see, you can do what the picture says right up below the E and water the light to make it grow, as I say. So yeah, the reason why I'm just showing some sewing a little bit here is just because, well, I want to show you guys this more in real time, where there's no magic of editing or something like that. Just kind of show this. Now, obviously, a project like this or similar, it depends. Some of the smaller ones that I've made don't take that long, maybe 45 minutes, give or take. But some of these larger pouches that I do make, like this one right here, may take a little bit longer, just because the sheer size of it. It's much bigger. I need a lot more thread to go through it. Then obviously I'm gonna hem the side after. See, I still have to hem the edge of this. I've already sewn the top. Yeah, give or take. You can see, oh, you might be able to see some of it. Yeah, I don't like the lighting in here. You might be able to see that a little bit. See, I still have to finish the top here. I've already kind of folded the top piece of the pouch and sewn that down. I'll probably maybe reinforce it or something like that. This is a simple pouch. Simple pouch. You can make it more complex, add some sort of belt loop if you wanted to. You probably sew in some hook and loops in, a buckle in if you wanted to. And the reason why I'm really doing this is to show everyone out there, you guys can all create out there. I truly believe that. Just because you never learned how to sew, for example, like what I'm doing right now, doesn't mean you can't learn how to do it. And for all the males out there, guys out there, you guys can sew too. I mean, I'm a guy. I know how to sew, and I actually do enjoy it. Just because, well, because I get to make containers with it. And of course, containers have CR in it from start to finish. Oh, plain old check. To be honest, if I wasn't actually using it right now, let me finish this off and I'll take a look. Plain old check. So now, see, right now I'm coming to the top. I might be able to fit one more stitch line in there. So I'm gonna do that right there. See, one thing, here's another tip. When you're sewing like this, be careful not to twist or tangle your line. I've done that before where I'm like, oh, I got a knot in the middle of the line or something silly like that where I'm just like, oh, where I have to kind of do it again. Well, not do it again, but cut it then redo it and fix it up. So what I'm gonna do here, see, the hem, there's loops coming around like this throughout the side. What I'm gonna do here is just push my sewing needle underneath all of that. So it's, let me show this a little bit better. Show this a little bit better here. So underneath all that, pull this through, pull it through. Then near the bottom again of my starting point, put another one through and finish that like that. That way, there's nothing sticking out. Of course, I just took this off. Just gonna take some scissors that I have here real quick and just kind of trim that off. Of course, when you're sewing, let me put the scissors down. I probably shouldn't be moving scissors close to my face, obviously. Safety first, right? Just don't pull this fairly tight. Make sure my kind of loops are pretty tight in there. Now I'm not pulling to like stretch it to break it, but like so it's nice and taut. Of course. Put my finger there, and then I'll snip the end of the line. Put my scissors back. Then put that sewing needle back on the neodymium magnet, rare earth magnet, so I don't lose it, right? Just gonna take a flame source and just kind of heat it, so just kind of melt it down in there. So that one side's done now. So, plain old Chuck asked, does the harmonica fit in here? I know the harmonica does fit in here. I know, just because, well, this pouch is bigger than the harmonica. So I do know it fits. I might make a more specifically make one for it, so it's kind of sized well for it. And maybe I'll make one with a belt loop. I don't know. I'll have to see. I might consider that though. Thanks for the idea, plain old Chuck. What's up, Matthew? Oh, you know a few basic stitches. So do I. I mean, I know expert seamstress and stuff like that, but this is stuff I just know. Just basic stuff, hemming and stuff like that. It's not too overly difficult. So, as you can see here, I still have a lot of line. So basically, this is just one piece of the thread that I'm using. And this is all just reclaimed thread that I have. That came from somewhere else. That's on this kind of bigger bundle of it. So similar to this, but great. As you can see. I just keep it in this form until I want to pull one off or something. Oh, there it is. I just pull one off. I just use that kind of stuff first. Just because I don't need a extremely long continuous amount of thread. And basically, once again, do it to the other side because I still have to finish the other side. Now, sometimes I don't actually need a thimble. Sometimes I can get away with not having one, but sometimes it is nice to have. Nice to have something that I can actually push a sewing needle through. Because I've done it without it at times, and there's ways of pushing a needle through without a thimble. I've done it where I'm at friends' places, whatever, and they're seeing me sewing, and they're like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "I'm just sewing." Really? I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just multitasking while we're just kind of watching this movie or whatever show or something like that. Just kind of multitasking. I've done this before. A lot of my friends have seen me sew while we're doing something. So once again, I'm just gonna do this a little bit faster here. Kind of hem the other side here. Bring the loops that I'm making to hem it. Series of loops as close as possible. And I'll just kind of not really explain what I'm doing anymore, because I think it makes sense to what I'm doing right now. I was gonna set up the second camera, but I decided not to, and kind of more explain this a little bit more, stuff like that, and yeah. And apparently I'm getting messaged on the back by someone else. Let me just move that off to the side so I can actually see the chat again. So like I've been saying, you guys all can do something like this. It's not overly difficult. Now, obviously, for something like sewing here, you probably need the dexterity to do something like this. So you've got arthritis or something like that. Maybe it's probably gonna be a little bit more challenging to do something like this. But generally speaking, anyone can do something like this. Not overly difficult. You can, with just some scraps like this scrap material right here, or this one right here, or here's another one, and this is not the same one that I've shown in a video. It's very similar because it actually came from the same source for the scrap material, as you can see here. This actually came from a lunch bag. One of those insulated lunch bags. It's just one I found where it was kind of torn a little, the bottom and stuff like that. It was kind of in that kind of useless state because people are, most people would be like, oh, it's got a hole in it, I don't want it. It's not gonna be able to hold my lunch in there or something like that. I'm just like, give it to me. And they're like, really? Most people now just know when I say that, they'll be like, oh, you're not create something from it? I'm like, yeah. Because I see potential of it, where I'm just looking beyond just kind of how, the surface, and then judging it just by the cover, you know, I'm looking deeper into it, where I'm just like, wait, but you can create XYZ with this, or something like that. So that's what I did. I have a video on this too. You can kind of see something like this, where I've made it with only the materials that were with it, pretty much. And literally convert. Yes, convert. I'm gonna use the word convert because convert has CR in it, by the way. Just saying. Literally convert it from its current useless state, a bag that has a hole in it, to a more useful state. So that kind of resource or material isn't getting dumped in the landfill, filling up a landfill more, and something like that. And all it takes is just something like a sewing needle, just a simple sewing needle. A sewing needle that you can just easily get, borrow, buy, something like that. I mean, you could probably get the sewing needle at the dollar store if you wanted to. And with just a little bit of time here, like I'm doing right now, make something really cool, something useful. You could be making a pouch for something that you already currently have, where you're just like, man, you're just thinking to yourself, I wish I had this, a container or a pouch to put this XYZ item in, whatever it is. Flashlight, torch, lighter, bottle, something like that, where you're just like, you converted something from its to something awesome. I mean, all this material here that I have right here, that I'm using right now, is all reclaimed material. Material that, may have had holes in it, scuff marks, whatever. And of course, I just took the parts that were still good, didn't have holes in it or anything like that, and made something out of it. For example, and before I actually get into that, I know people are coming in, so that's all I'm gonna say back. Welcome back, Jeep Things. Let me welcome into the room here, Jerry! From Jerry's Woodchops and Outdoors. Hi, Jerry, and thank you for taking the time to drop it. How's it going, man? Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, coming back to this material right here, I've had these for a long time ago. It's kind of not so common anymore because obviously optical discs, CDs, DVDs are kind of fading away. Most people do know what Blu-ray is, but here's a case right here. I got this a long time ago. Now, if I didn't have currently something in here, and or something happened to this, I could reuse the material right here. Now, this is bought. But the thing is, I can reclaim the material off of this and make something like this out of it. And all it takes is some sewing thread, and a sewing needle. And the sewing thread came from this. Look at that. This is something else I had, where I just like, oh, what am I gonna use that for? Then I figured out, hey, wait a second, I can get the thread off of it and make something really more useful, like this, and literally convert it. Yes, of course, convert has CR in it into something useful. So instead of being in that current useless state, whatever the XYZ thing was, I can make it into something more useful. Similar to what I'm doing right now and making a pouch like something like this. Hold on a sec. Gotta melt it in real quicker. Alright. So again, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, go through that middle part here, underneath all my lines, bring the sewing needle back in, through. So now the end of the line is near the bottom of my starting point. So it kind of looks clean-ish, and if you're wondering, I made this thing right here specifically for sewing purposes. Now I'm not gonna need it right now because, well, I'm done the sewing part at the moment. So I'm gonna take a pair of scissors here and cut the end of the line, the end here, just about, let's say, half an inch from the edge. And of course, look at this, I still have thread on this right now. And of course, I'm gonna use that neodymium rare earth magnet to put the sewing needle on so I don't lose it. Because I already went through this before the start of the stream. Before I started. That way I don't misplace it. Because, yeah. And I'll just stick it on my table in front of me here. So you'll see that right there. I'm just gonna melt it down with a flame source real quicker. And always be careful. Obviously, be careful with your flame sources and stuff like that, right? Don't play around with that kind of stuff, right? And now you can see Let me just turn back on the light here, so you can actually see. Kind of, oh, see. See, I don't want to turn on the overhead lamp that I have just because it's daytime and I shouldn't be turning on lights during the daytime. But I'm just showing you guys so you can actually see it. You can see, geez, see the top here and the top of the other side. Kind of finishing that off, reinforcing it. And of course, because Plano Chuck asked, I'm actually gonna. I thought I had it next to me here. Where is it in my? Nope, it's not in my pocket. As I look for this here. Well, eventually it'll probably show up. He asked me to put if it fits in that harmonica that fits in here. I'm pretty sure it fits in there. It's probably kind of loose. It's probably a little bit more. It's probably this is probably a little big for it, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit because the harmonica's not that wide or that long. So I'm pretty sure it would fit in here. But I'll probably, if I did make one Plano Chuck, I'd probably make one specifically sized well for it, just so it fits in there nicely and stuff like that. A pouch like this, you know, you're probably like, oh, what are you gonna use this for, CR? Why can't I use it for? The only real limitation is what I can fit inside. I probably could fit a lot of different things in here if I wanted to. Oh, look at the scissors I was using. They kind of fit in here. For example, or something like this. These are shears, of course. Yeah, as you can tell that I personalize my shears a lot more. Because it's got a black handle on it, and sometimes I'm trying to look for it, I'm just like, and I need to identify it a little bit better. Just so when I'm looking in the distance, I'll be like, oh, they're right there. Guys, trust me, when you misplace something or trying to look for something, it's very annoying. A lot of the downtime because of something like that. I got my coffee. Really prep for it. you just, hey, prep for it. Isn't that the tooth? I mean, truth? Just kidding. Just kidding. Sorry, play on words again. Anyways, I'm gonna turn off this overhead light for a second. I think I can open up a little bit more natural light in here. I'd rather use natural light as much as possible. And besides, I don't want to waste a bunch of electricity unnecessarily if I don't have to. If I'm showing some more close-ups or where you can't tell, I'll turn on the lamp. But besides that, I'm pretty sure you guys can see it and stuff like that. So let me just put a few of these things back here. I'm gonna show something else here. Now I'm gonna show something that's a little bit brighter. No pun intended. Because it'll kind of, you guys are gonna see a sneak peek on it and some foreshadowing for something else in the future. Like I said, I do like the sew. See, here's more reclaimed material. Hey, actually, there's a lot of contrast at the top right now. I should just leave this at the top. You can see my banner at the top. This is all. This actually came from a really old, used, some paint on its kind of safety vest. You know, reflective vest. Ones that you see people wear for construction, or maybe they're a flag person or something like that. So you can see that big. You might be able to see that big stain in it. I've actually tried to wash this out, and there's something else in there. I have not been able to get this out. At least not yet. And I've used like detergent and stuff like that. But what I did was I'm converting this into more like a signaling device. You'll actually see there's some pre-made headlines from it when it was originally something else. See, I actually have that report. I think I have that report of it. Nope, this ain't that report of it. I thought I had that. I thought I had that one nearby, but anyways, this was actually the sleeve. So this would have been the sleeve on the shoulder. Basically, what I did, I cut that seam, pre-made seam. So now it's well longer, a longer piece, not in that tube fashion anymore. But basically, there was this little bit of a, I don't know, like a tube or something through it, because there's a hem, not a hemline, but a stitch right about here. So on the inside, you could fit something. So let me just grab something real quick here, just to demonstrate what I kind of mean. And hopefully not break it. Wait, I'll use something else. I'll use a pen here that I have. But basically, I can fit this in here. And the idea, what I had in mind was, hey, I could stick a stick in it, and look, using that pen, for example, right? You'll see it in there. So if I had a long enough stick, look at what I can do with it. So I'm actually trying to make this into more of a signaling device. Because clearly this is highly reflective. So in a time of need, or if I need to grab more attention, for whatever the reason is, make it more noticeable, get more notice, I could do something like this. And this is just scrap material, scrap material, scrap material. Something that I'm seeing people throw away time and time again, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make something out of it and convert it. And remember, scrap and convert both have CR in it. Sorry about the jump in the camera there. And convert it in from its current useless state into something more useful. And I could easily add this into some sort of like emergency preparedness bag or something like that. Something I could easily just slip in a pocket if necessary. Add some more visibility or something like that, if need be. Basically, all the sides are hemmed. Since this is much brighter, you'll see that I actually hemmed the whole side. And you're probably like, oh, where'd the thread come from? This is the thread I use. This is the thread I use. So pretty much the only thing that you really do need, or could actually not recreate or find, is the sewing needle. It was just a simple sewing needle. And finding something similar to this, you can make something like this, or reuse something to make something like this. And I've actually been thinking of actually adding more into it. Add some more color into it. Still thinking about it. But you might see this later in a video or something like that, so you guys are getting a really fast sneak peek on it. Yay, Caitlin's got her coffee. If I haven't said take care, plain old Chuck, I am saying it right now. Thanks for taking the time to drop in. If I haven't already said that already. I know sometimes I'm going on and on, I forget about the side chat for a sec. So loops into the corner so you can hang. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Kaylin. See, Kaylin, I like how you think, Kaylin. You think like I do at times. Now I have not finished this off, but you're right. I probably could put some loops in there, maybe. Kind of add to the functionality, not functionality, but the way to hook this on to stuff. So, taking this PVC pipe that I have randomly. I could kind of, now obviously this is not together yet, but you guys can kind of get the idea. And obviously something like this has, for signaling purposes, has both contrast in color and in movement. So it'd be a little bit easier to spot. Because things, movement and in color. If necessary. If necessary. Something to keep in mind, just in case. Just in case. Or maybe something more important is happening. Stuff like that. Or you kind of feel like maybe I want to get a little bit more, be more noticeable. And stuff like that. I remember some. I think this one time I actually was like crossing the street or whatever. This area that I was in at that time, the lights were actually out in this area. It was nighttime and stuff like that. I knew I was crossing crosswalk, obviously, right? Not jaywalking or anything like that. But it was kind of really dark. I was just like, oh, I really need to cross. Stuff like that. Some traffic and stuff like that. I think I brought something out like similar to this, or very something very similar like this out. I just like, you know, and I made my intention of what I was gonna do, which was to do that. So I made my intentions well known with this, because I was wearing darker clothing anyway, so it would have been really hard for anyone to notice, even with car, truck headlamps, headlights on, vehicle headlights on. But something like this, they saw that, clearly saw that. They're like, oh, I think there's someone wanting to cross here. Let's slow down. Make my intentions well known versus just going out there. Let's just say something I keep in mind, because it can happen. It can happen in certain areas where it's pitch black, or you need to grab someone's attention a little bit more, where something like this may be useful. Or something very similar. Maybe it's a brighter yellowish color. Like something else I've shown on the channel. One of these. I've shown this on the channel, by the way. This is from the dollar store. As far as I've never seen this at Dollar Tree, but I have seen this in Dollarama here in Canada. Clearly, I'm Canadian, right? Oh, okay, that's cool. Jeep Minx, yeah, something like that. Just so it's a little bit more noticeable. I mean, like, if you're setting up camp or something like that, something maybe, or you could use something like this. So, hey, where's my camp? Oh, yeah, I see this big bright orange thing in the distance. That must be it. As a marker or something like that, where, let's say, for example, if you were actually lost, and hopefully, hopefully you would have something like a map, compass, that kind of stuff. But if you were actually lost, if you weren't sure at first, you could set that down in the distance where you're like, okay, I'm just don't keep moving somewhere and get more lost. I'm gonna put this down, keep that in line of sight. Now I can venture a little bit, keep that line of sight, and I could still come back to this known spot, for example. And hopefully it might help you be like, oh, I should have took that turn back there to the left instead of the right. You grab your kind of thing back. Okay, now I'll go over there. Now I know where that is, and then hey, okay, I'm not lost anymore. I know exactly where I am. For example, in a nutshell. Hmm. Cool, cool. And of course, yes, of course I do have more of it because obviously I have more of it. Now this one I have not hemmed yet. Yeah, this one I have not hemmed yet. Yeah, this one I have not. Yeah, this one is pretty much more or less the same thing. Now there is a hemline on the seam on the inside of this. I kind of flattened it and sewed it so it's actually nice and flat. Less likely to get caught. Something like that. That's more for me. Not absolutely necessary, but I just did that just because I wanted to. And of course, this one's much wider. I'm gonna show another pouch here that I have that has my wool hat in it right now. There's another black pouch right here. This one's definitely more complete. There's this wool hat I have in here. I just have this wool hat in here right now. I'm just like, I still have no idea what I want to put inside. I've shown this before in a different live stream where I was showing it, creating it from start to ish to finish. Yeah. This is much bigger, much bigger. It's actually more or less a little bit taller than the other one I showed. Now something like this, honestly I can make this more elaborate, put some loops in it or something like that, a buckle, hook and loops, something like that if I wanted to. But for now, at least right now during the winter, I'm just putting my wool hat in here. For now. You might be able to see that hemline across. Let me turn on the overhead lamp real quick. I don't want to do it, but just so you guys can see that, you can see that hemline that I put across the whole outside. Just to reinforce it, of course, you can see let me see here. You can sort of see it. Anyways. Sorry, it's all black and darker material, so it's kind of harder to notice. But you might see it in a different video, where I show it a little bit more close up and stuff like that. This camera I use for streaming is not as detailed. I don't like it as much, but it's what I have. Oops. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. Because by the magic of not live streaming, that wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to happen. Whoops. It's okay. Oops, I knocked it down by accident. Yeah. No one noticed that. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I didn't just do that. Oops. Um. Uh. Ta-da! It's magic. Just kidding. See. Oh. I guess on the bright side, I noticed where the harmonica is. So, yes, this harmonica does fit in here. See, it's a little bit too big, the pouch, for it. I mean, obviously it's not fit, but what? For the time being, I'll put the harmonica in there. I mean, this could be, you could be making a pouch like this for, I keep forgetting. Here's something like a comb or something like this. Here's a comb or brush. There's something I have nearby. You could be using this for your comb or brush, put it in. Now, obviously, if it's a brush, like for a female or for someone for longer hair, you might want something a little bit bigger. So let me see where I'm at here. I'm just making sure everything's good. Just checking. Wow, 90 minutes in. 90 minutes, I'm still going. And I still have stuff I want to show and do on the channel here. So here's something. I'm going to show you guys something. You guys are going to get a sneak peek. Ah, see, no one noticed, right? No one noticed. You guys are going to get a very, very, very quick sneak peek. Because you're not going to notice the details in it. But let's just say, here's something else I made. Ooh, ooh. Of course, it's got a flame source in here. You'll have to wait for the details for this one. Real close sneak peek. Woo! You're not gonna notice much because it's mostly dark in color. I just say, it's something related to what I've been talking about. I'm kind of kid. Something else I've been working on. And here's another sneak peek here for everyone. Woo! Here's another sneak peek. Another sneak peek. I do always appreciate everyone's creative input and stuff. That should give you a hint on where it came from. For anyone that's watched that video. Yeah, that was a sneak peek on it. Sneak peek on it. I know I have not released anything, an update on it, but it's because, well, I'm still working on it. Oh, yeah, almost good. I was done put the harmonica in here. Well, I guess I don't really have to, but because usually I just have it up on the side anyways. As I seem to be dropping stuff again. Remember what I said? Remember what I said about like dropping the needle? I just did that. Oh, but think of this. It was on this neodymium magnet that I can easily see. Okay, that's why. Because it's so easy to just brush by a sewing needle that you have on the table with your like your arm, forearm, or something, and it just gets caught and just like it falls off the table or something like that. So this is why I do it this way now. I really do like it this way. And I keep forgetting that I still see. I still didn't even use all the thread off of this. This is why I still use this first because I'm trying to use this up first before I start using this kind of stuff because this is actually continuous. Speak of which, I'm gonna take this one right here and oh, clearly I didn't see that last message. It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. So let's see here. There is something actually I was meaning to do while I was doing this anyway. Oh yeah, here's another creation that I've shown in the past. Yes, I still have one of those draw tie bags. Still have one of these. Still have one of these. But you'll have to see what's in. Because I'll be showing that like later. Just another container, or a pouch in that case, draw tie pouch. I've shown that. Oh, there's a video on it too. Let me adjust the light in here. Like I said, it's sunny out, so I might look a little bit washed out. Let me just use this piece of paper to white balance back again. There we go. Try to get that white balance. See, it's still kind of dimmed out, but it's either if I open up the and let all the light in, then you won't be able to see me at all. It'll just look like. See, I can open up the window all the way, but look how bright that is. Almost like I need a diffuser in here for the videos. Oh, let me welcome into the room here someone else who knows about snow. And I'm glad they're glued in here. As kind of I'm trying to make up something funny that makes sense, like a word on play on words. But anyways, let me welcome you in here. Let's talk about prepping. Hello, and thank you for dropping by this live stream with CR, where I'm in creation mode / chit chat. And like I said, we all out there can create. I truly believe that. How's it going, man? You just had to put that in. Alright, Jeep Things. I do appreciate you taking the time to drop in. Of course, Fred. Take care as well for me. Well, I could probably talk about that, but I'm not done. Derail my own stream right here. You know, it's kind of funny if I remember right. Let me just take something else here. No, not that one. The pouches I have been making now could actually fit a smartphone. So it is possible. I remember making this pouch and just like it just happened. I don't know if I actually meant to do it, but I can't remember where it is. I think I thought I had it nearby, but basically I was using it as a template for the pouch, so it actually fits the phone properly, like real snugly. Oh, whatever. Oh, you should know. I'm in creation mode. So that's how I am. Yeah, I know. I'm using all these words. See, I'm gonna do something right here just because I want to, and because remember how I just said I still have some thread on this. I'm not done wasting. I'm not done wasting resource here. I am actually not because out of necessity and because well I figure I might as well look at that. I got a big hole in this glove, which is now let wind and well yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is actually do it right now. So I'm gonna repair this. It looks like I must have tried to do this before. You probably see that there is some thread on there, but one on now obviously this is a black glove. I probably should be using darker thread, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal because I've not not so how do I say? It's not as big of a deal for me. Let me go get something. Because like I said, color's not that big of a deal for me. And just to prove that point, just to prove that point, just to prove that point. Yes, yes, you're seeing those colors. That is the color pink you're seeing. See, I do have them. I still have them. I think this one actually has one of those things that you could touch screen, if I remember it. But I still have them. I still have them because I'm not free of that. It's not a big deal to me. It's not a big deal to me. But seriously, what I'm gonna do here is actually try to fix this and kind of sew this back together again. Now I'm gonna actually take a tool here that I have shown on the channel here, and I'm gonna show this here. See, everyone's familiar with like a seam ripper or something similar to that. You might see that in sewing kits, a sewing box, or sewing kit's also known as housewife's kit, apparently, but more commonly known as a sewing kit. Well, let's just say since I've been sewing and all this stuff and trying to reclaim thread and all that stuff, and I made this not specifically for that reason, but I've been using it for that reason. And of course, it's got the word create on it. Let me just turn on the light here, just so you can see that a little bit better. I don't like to turn on the overhead light, but during the day, but you can see that. Yes, it does say create on it, and yes, that is glitter that you're seeing. Just saying. It's just a curve all. A curve all. So I'm gonna use it right now so I can actually kind of pull the this previous stitching out of this. I use this all the time. I really, of all the things I've made, this is very, very useful. It's very easily remove the stitching, or kind of reclaim the stitching. Now, speak of reclaiming the stitching, that's what I used for this, which I have a video on. And yes, it's got something inside, which is a bandana, which is 100% cotton bandana, which is useful too, by the way. Oh, so I see you got that white frozen rain stuff too, right, Kaylin? Let me just get some more light in here. See, I'm just kind of. Let me just adjust this just a little. As you can see, the light's coming in. And I can turn on an overhead lamp, but I don't want to as much. Just maybe I'll just come closer to the camera. But anyways, grabbing this glove that I have here, I'll make a repair on it. You can see that big hole. For most people, or some people I should say, I shouldn't say most, but some people would be like, oh, whatever, right? They wouldn't even bother trying to repairing it just because, it's too time consuming. I don't know how to sew, or something like that. Or I don't have a sewing needle, or something like that. Well, I'm gonna show you guys right now, and do it in front of you guys. Me fixing it up. I might have gotten disconnected, so if you missed what I just said or whatever, sorry about that. I just noticed that OBS disconnected. For some reason, I temporarily disconnected. And let me welcome into the room here BK from Budget Bushcraft and RV Life. What's up? And thank you for taking the time to drop by this live stream with CR. Like it says on the screen. Just let me double check here. Yeah, sorry. I just had to check. On the video side of things, I think I'm good. Yeah, I hopefully just making sure everything's good on the YouTube side. See, I can see the video preview, so I'm buffering too. I'm hoping things are not turn out. I'm hoping. I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Sure seems like it. It was saying I wasn't. It was. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that kind of buffering and all that stuff. Hopefully, I didn't think I would be so lagging, buffering. Sorry about the buffer. Clearly, I should have checked the connection before I started the stream. Clearly. So, anyways, like I was saying, there's a big hole in it. I've inverted the glove inside and out. So, I'm gonna sew the inside and invert it back out. Now, hopefully, it'll help. I think I'm good again. Leave me a 1 on the screen if it's good again for you guys. Leave me a 1 on the screen if it's good. 2 if you're buffering too much or it's not as great as you would like. Just so I kind of know. So basically, there's this hole in the glove right now. What I'm gonna do is push the material together, something like that, and kind of, yeah, alright, thanks budget, thanks. What I'm gonna do is basically hem it, basically, in a nutshell. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try this out. Now, hopefully I got enough thread on this. I'll have to see, I might, see this is not more like yarn, the glove, so I'll just try this out, see if this will help. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal because I'm using reclaimed thread, like I said. I'm not even using anything bought. I'm just kind of trying to keep this glove that I have back, trying to keep it in a useful state as much as possible. I might have to come back around and doing it for a little bit. Just making yeah. I'm just gonna keep my preview up on the on the on the YouTube side just so I can see. So I should be in frame. So basically what I'm doing here is just kind of hemming it around, keeping it flat. You probably could use a safety pin or something like that, a safety pin or a clothespin or something like that just to help you, but I'm just going to do this without it. Basically keep going. Now I'm probably going to go for maybe another hour on the stream, give or take. Half an hour to an hour, give or take. But basically, like I said, I'm just hemming it. Well, like I said, the glove's inside out right now. And this is just thread that I had from the previous thing that I just hemmed, so I figure I might as well use it. And we'll see how well this works. Like I said, I'm no expert seamstress or anything like that. I'm just, well, learning about it. Practicing it too. Doing it just because, well, hey, why not? Why not? So this is just what I'm doing. Hemming it back together. And hopefully, the idea is that it'll actually like stay together. Hopefully. There might be other ways of doing it, but I'm just kind of doing it like this. You know, sometimes the best way to learn something is just by doing it. You know, not think about it, but just do it. I'll just kind of see. I still have a lot of the thread still, and this is the funny thing is all that stuff I've been sewing here. I'm just using one piece of thread, one piece of reclaimed thread. So I haven't even really even used more of this yet, even though I got a lot of it. Basically, I'm to the end here. Now, I'm not done you need any thimble or anything, because also this is quite easy to push through. As I look at it here. And basically, I came to the other end, or the opposite side of it. Basically, what I'm going to do here is just kind of go back. And kind of backtrack on what I just did. As much as possible. Now, technically, I got a lot of gloves. Like this, so. To be honest, I probably don't actually need to do this. But, you know what? I'm going to do this anyways. Just so you guys can kind of see mending, repairing something like this is doable. It's doable. It's doable. It's doable. It's definitely doable. You don't have to be an extra expert seamstress to do something like this. You don't have to think, "Hey, I'm a male. I'm a guy." No, the guys can do this too. I'm a guy, and I can do this. Because I truly believe anyone out there can create. when I see, it makes me happy to see people, which is, for example, it makes me happy to see guys sewing, maybe even learning how to crochet, or when I see females using power tools, drills, welding, something like that. It makes me happy because it always reminds me, hey, anyone can do this stuff. Anyone can do this stuff. And I just dropped CR off the ground, of course. So let me put this back on my head. But yeah, anyone can do this stuff. Like I said, hook and loops. So I'm just gonna finish this off here. You might not be able to notice that. It's because I'm using a black glove for this, but it's just going back and forth. I'm trying to hem that together. Now, I'm not done cut the thread yet. I'm just kind of seeing, kind of taking a look here, see if there's any big gaps or anything I can fix up. I might actually come back and do it for backtrack a third time in there, just because well I still have thread. I figure I might as well. And ideally, the hole that was in there will kind of disappear. It'll look like, well, I mean, obviously I don't notice the thread in there just because it's gray, but and I'll have to see how long it'll last because obviously you could stretch. I could stretch this if I really wanted to, but maybe so there's not that big gap in there anymore as I hem this back together. Well, almost done here. Almost done here. Just gonna use up the rest of the thread. Figure might as well just use up the rest of it. So I do appreciate everyone taking the time right now to drop in, however long, a few minutes, few seconds, an hour, or 2 hours. If you're still here this whole time, I do appreciate it. I'll cut that. So now I've cut that off. Like I said, then put that sewing needle back on this neodymium magnet, so I don't misplace it. Doesn't drop on the floor or anything like that. I'm gonna take a flame source here. Which I found I just had in my hands. Oops. I'll do it. Well, I'll do it in a sec. Anyways. So, as you can see there, this line right about there. You're not gonna notice that. Let me turn on the overhead light here. You might be able to see, so I shed some more light on the situation. You can sort of see that grayish line where I've kind of hemmed it back together. Let's see, now invert this back, this glove here, and we'll see here. It looks like, oh, yeah, I think it's starting to come together. Now I might have to do a little bit more, but look at that. Now you don't notice my skin anymore through the glove. But basically, just like that, I kind of, at least temporarily repaired it. So it's kind of more functional again. So I'm just gonna pull on it a little here and there just to see, test it out. So it should be working again. And you don't notice much in there. But you can see that right there. The grayish line, that's the thread that I was using. And the reason why you do it inside out is so just to hide the inside, because also the inside has all more of the lines just to hide it. I mean, when I look at it just with the naked eye in front of me in the real world here, I don't even notice. I barely even notice that gray line. If it was black thread, darker thread that matches the color of the glove, it would just you wouldn't even notice a repair in there. Something again, a sewing kit can come in handy for. And all it took was just a sewing needle and some thread. Some thread that I got from something else. Reclaimed thread. Just checking on something real quick. Alright, just I gotta refresh a few things in here. Just checking up on something right here. Just give me a sec here. Alright, so. Yes, literally, so. Yes, I've been sewing for like the last how long. Because, well, sewing's fun. Shown a lot of different things, such as this, where. And you've probably seen a lot of me creating, converting, and covering a lot of different things in this. And all those words have CR in it, by the way. And a little mishap behind me and all this stuff. A couple sneak peeks. Well, and I guess it wouldn't be a video or a live stream of creation mode if I didn't show bracelet randomly. With another CR word, cordage. Very simple. You might see another video or a static video about it a little bit later. So I'm gonna take something else here that I have. Just because I want to. Just because I want to. Sorry about that. Just rearranging my the windows that I do see right now, just so I can actually make sure everything is good. Okay. Volume should still be good, yeah. Just making sure. YouTube's still receiving data. Move my window over to the side here. So I'm gonna do something else here too while I'm at it. And then try this out. I'm gonna try this out. Don't know why. But there's a glove right here. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Here's a mitt right here. This mitt is actually the outer shell of something, and all this stuff. And all this stuff. You can actually see there's a mitt on the inside of it. These two mitts never were meant to be together. And this other mitt was actually a little bit small for me. But what I did was I'm gonna change it up. The inside of the mitt had holes in it and stuff like that. So I ripped the inside out, kept the outer shell of this. This is something I scavenged or found. What I'm gonna do here, you can see, here's the mitt on the inside. Here's the mitt, the outer shell of this mitt. Originally I was just like, oh hey, I can maybe do this if I wanted to, but then I'm like, wait a second. Why don't I combine both of them into a setup? So it's a little bit tight on me, but it'll be alright. I could still wear this if I wanted to. Use this as a backup or something like that. But what I'm gonna do here is try to. Not that I'm showing a brand or a brand name or anything like that. What I'm gonna try to do is actually connect these two mitts together. So taking something that had a hole on the inside, taking something another synthetic uh, yarn or something that, well, obviously it has holes in it. It is warm, but it has holes, so it's something like windshield proof. Combine both of them into something. Now, obviously, I wish I had another mid to match all this, but what I'm gonna do, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to finish this in this stream because I'm already at like two 2 hours or whatever, but it might show up eventually. I may actually attempt to actually hem both gloves, both mids together, and actually, well, put them together. So when I'm actually wearing it, it'll actually be like this, but both mids are together. Now I'll have to see. I've never done that. But it's something I've been thinking about. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually do it on the stream. I have to see. It's definitely nowhere near as easy as this one was. And I have to see. I do appreciate all the support right now on the channel, and for all those random thumbs ups, and for everyone watering the lake to make it grow. I do appreciate it. One thing I might do right now, I'm not sure. See, I've worked. I find a lot of denim, specifically jeans. So here's a pocket from a pair of jeans. Here, here's a pocket right here. Now now the rest of the jeans were used for other purposes, which I won't get into, but I decided to save the pockets on them, just because, well, technically it's a pre-made pouch. Now, I am not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with this. Now, I was thinking, I'm like, what could I really use something like this for? I still haven't figured it out. Now, I've been thinking, I'm like, oh, do I want to actually hem this? Reinforcing it? I'm like, I could. Now, I could actually probably, I do have more con type of thread than I can use to hem this with, but it's actually like a bright orange, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'll have to see. I could use some of this air thread that I have, but it'll be synthetic. I'm trying to see if I can keep this more cotton based or natural materials as much as possible versus synthetic type of line. What's up, Florida Gray? What's up, man? How's it going? Thanks for taking the time to drop in on this live stream with, wait, maybe with me, with the CR. Yeah. It almost feels like I made a mitt. Well, we'll see. See, you can see, here's, I think this was, yeah, these were the back pockets. You can see the big rip in there. A little bit of a rip. I'm not sure if I can fix that, because it's quite wide. I'll have to see. I'll have to see. I might be able to, but it might be kind of too, not too far gone, but kind of too wide to stitch back up without actually patching it. This thing is not a toque, Greg. It's not a toque. You think it's a toque. It's not. It's not. It's something I made. Something I made. More like reused and made into. It's not a toque. It just appears that way. It just appears that way. As I move around in the camera. Let me get some more light in here. Yeah, that sounds quite bright out there. right now. That's alright. Have some coffee here. No, actually, for the Greg, it's something else in the works. You'll see videos on it in the future. I've just been trying to finish them off. Something related to what I've been talking about this whole stream. So that should explain it all. Yes. SEW. 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 Yes. You can kind of see it there. I just show it with CR on me. Actually, Greg, it's still cold out, to be honest. It's still blue. It's still cold out. Let's just say. Snow angels. I want to make something else, create something else with snow, but maybe not snow angels. I'll have to wait though. I have to wait. Hopefully it'll appear. Let's just say I tried to make something before, and let's just say I got 3 feet high, but on it, but and 1 feet thick, but never did finish it. I hope to try one again this year. But I think I'll have an opportunity. You might see a video on it. I might show some clips of the previous one, because I actually do have clips of this previous one that I made or created and stuff like that. But I just didn't actually put the video out. See, I got a lot of B-roll at times and some air clips. I just kind of shot or recorded the clips, just never ended up on the channel yet. And you might see some B-roll on it. I might throw that in or whatever. It's all good. It's all good, Greg. You know, you're here now. That's what matters. That's what matters. I never really, I understand things are happening and whatever, right? But I do appreciate people taking the time to drop in when they can. Even catching a couple minutes of it at least or something like that. Because, I understand. I understand. And of course, I appreciate the people that have been sticking around for most, if not all, of this stream. Or if you're catching the replay and you've been watching like this far in, I do appreciate it too. I do appreciate it. I know everyone out there has got their schedules and all that stuff. I do appreciate people taking the time to drop in as long as they can. Even if they're like watching part of it one day, then watching the rest of it the next day, kind of deal. I do appreciate it, especially the comments out there and not just the views, but the comments. Especially a lot of the comments out there where you can just tell that people put some effort into it. You could just tell, the way that they use the choice of words and stuff like that. Man, maybe it's like a paragraph long. I read those. I read those. I do appreciate it though. You're busy. You're busy life taking a nap, eh? Yeah. That reminds me. Sometimes, sometimes some of these ideas I come up with when I'm creating actually come when I'm actually daydreaming. Well, not daydreaming, but kind of just relaxed, closing my eyes, or I'm just like thinking of something or whatever. And yes, that's a segue to this thing right here. You like that, Greg? This came to me when I was like sleeping. The idea. I remember that I was like thinking about it, and I just like the night before, and I woke up the next morning. I'm like, the first thing I did, I'm like, I gotta do this, and try this out. I kind of modified it from the original way I was thinking of doing it, but I was just like, oh wait, I can do it. Something like this. And if I really wanted to, no, I don't. Hold on. Not sure if you saw that, but I could do something like that too. Something else. I keep finding things I can use this for. It's kind of cool that I could just like put it somewhere. For example, on one of my air stage prompts, I can put that there. Pretty much I can put it anywhere. We'll just say the famous person that likes to improvise, not me, that's well known, fictional character that uses a paperclip. Let's just say that's kind of where the idea came from. It's kind of where the idea came from, and I just kind of modified it a little bit more. And of course, I used reclaimed materials, reused materials for this. It's kind of cool. And it's good to get out from time to time. Kind of, hey, why don't you kind of bring up some of that heat from down south up north here? Up here in, yeah, honestly. What is it? It's whatever it is. To be honest, it is whatever it is. I have another one right here. No, it's right here. Here's another one. This one's longer. I can make this into a lot of various things, which include I can twist this. Let's twist this here. Twist this and make a circle. And if you enjoy what you're seeing right now and really love the content, you know, you can, yeah, right? So I can make a heart. And of course, something else I can make this into. There's a reason why I made this. I can always, just like how I'm always in creation mode, I can make stuff with it. Such as this. That's why I have it. That's why, exactly why I have it. When I was kind of playing around with this at places, I would just have this and just be making stuff out of it, and people and be like stuff like that. I'd be like putting this on somewhere and just have like this like random like art or something like that. Here's some other stuff that I've been trying to do with this. It's just something I have. So, just something. It's just something. It's just something. And the thing is, it didn't cost me anything yet. It's kind of in a useful state to me, at least for me, anyways, because I'm using it as a stage prop for the most part. And you may see this. I think now that I've kind of introduced this on the channel a little bit more, you might see these more in videos as a background or something like that. So yes, like I said, CR likes to create a lot. I don't know why, but I just do. It's how I am. It's just been part of me for a long time. It's just no, no. It's just what I just enjoy it. I just really do enjoy creating. And like I said, I think we all out there can create in our own way. See, I showed this earlier, such as this. That's something I drew. I know big artists or something like that. I don't paint regularly or something like that, but I do enjoy doing it just because I enjoy it. I remember one time I was visiting friends in that afternoon. Well, there people were like using like watercolors and stuff like that. What did I use? I didn't use watercolor. I improvised it a little bit more and tried out something using ash from the fire and ash and coals from the fire and mixing it with water and creating a dark color. So I was literally painting with coal or ash. It was kind of fun. I mean, I didn't make anything as complicated as what they did. I think I made a cube or something like that. They're just like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah. I was just doing it for fun. I was just like, oh, let's see if this works. I was just like, oh, it kind of could work. So that's just something I've done. But I don't have video on it or whatever. Well, you plant stuff? That's a form of creating because you're purposely putting it in a certain way. And for maybe for some reason you're trying to make this overall look great. You know, that's a form of creating in itself. Form of creating that grows. Just like if you want to right now, you can water the lake to make it grow. Yes, I had to put that in. Segue right into that. No, I'm not a big gardener per se. I've done things. I know people that are much better at doing it than I am. They know a lot more than I do. You know, I know basic stuff, I guess. Basic stuff. I want to expand on that a little bit more if I could. Try to pick up some more knowledge or skill behind it. I mean, well, if I remember, I'm trying to. Well, I have shown videos on a few little things that you might have seen. Something related to sun, you know, and flower. Hopefully, what's it called? You know, hopefully people out there seeing what I create, seeing what's possible, seeing what you can do with other things. Hopefully, it'll blossom their interest in creating whatever they create. I mean, like I said, I truly do believe that we are all creators out there in some form or fashion. Where it's be fabrication through like more industrial metallic means, you know, like welding, carp, car, being a carpenter, working with wood, cutting wood, whittling, that kind of stuff. Where for sure you're not be like, oh yeah, that's creating. To cooking, cooking's another form of creating that's delicious because you're putting ingredients together and making something out of it, like baking a pie, making apple crisp. Yes, of course, apple crisp does have CR in it, by the way, just like this thing right here. I mean, drawing is a form of creating. Art is a form of creating. That's why I truly do believe that we all are creators out there, and why I do believe that we all can create a better future starting today. I truly do believe it. This is reading what you said, Greg. Greg. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. You know, I'm hoping metaphorically that anyone listening to this, watching the replay, watching this live right now, hopefully you can reminder. I think that's the word I'm using. That whatever you create, maybe it can be a seed, metaphorically, to help grow something even more. To grow to that next level. To become more. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And that's, I guess, you have this picture of how you want it created, where it's just like maybe not only functional, but for lack of a better term, pretty, eye appealing, something like that. So that's cool. That's cool. See, I think this is another reason why I like to do these live streams at times. It allows me to reconnect with people, get to know people a little bit more, not just as a YouTube channel, a name on my screen, a name on the side chat, but as people, as a person, what they're into. So let me see here. Wow, I do appreciate it all everyone that came by. As I just take a look at the thumbs ups and all this stuff, I do appreciate it. That's really cool. It's a big smile on my face. I do appreciate everyone coming by and so hitting that. I do appreciate it. Yes, I still have this. I'm just gonna keep this for now on. It just seems to make sense. So I'm probably gonna go. You know what? I think I'm not. I was gonna do this every creation, but I think I'm gonna take a short break here. Because I think I need to. I've been going for a while. Actually, how long have I been going for? Geez, 2.5 hours, I think. Now, I do appreciate everyone that came by during this live stream time. I'm gonna do my 5 couple minute warning before the end of the stream, like usual, probably 2 to 5 minutes, whatever left in the stream. And I do appreciate everyone that kind of came by, kind of went through the buffer zone that I had randomly on the stream, kind of hiccups and all that stuff, the technical issues, to see the creations that I did make, the chit chat about creating, and all that good stuff. It's, you know, and all that good stuff. And joining me here, CR, in creation mode time, where I was so creating a bunch of different things and showing you guys that, you know, you guys out there can create, regardless of who you are. I truly do believe in that. I do. I do. Because I think deep down, in my core, which also has CR in it, now, we are all creators in some form or fashion. Maybe you're creating something out in the bush, kind of practicing that kind of bush crafting kind of skill, bush crafter type of skills, which obviously crafter has CR in it. To artistic type of creating, food type of creating, to like landscape diorama type of creating with natural or synthetic materials, creating um, stage prompts to use in videos, creating, you know, things to help you, you know, creating solutions to problems that you may have, and stuff like that, such as this thing right here. Yes, I know, I'm just gonna put that up on the screen. And yes, I did create this out of necessity and all that stuff. Maybe you're creating other things like bracelets. Like this one I have right here. Using some cordage, which also has CR in it, to create something like this. And all that stuff. Where it's for creating for fun, functionality, appeal, regardless, right? You're all creating some sort of better future starting today. So I do appreciate everyone that came by here, which I will say was quite a bit of people, which include their Urban Prepper 34, Mary Carter, Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures, Prep for a Mobile Homestead, a Canoe Adventure, Josh, FFP with Food Forest Permaculture, Southern Ohio Prepping, Matthew, AOK Fortune Adventures, Jeep Things Outdoors, Plain Old Chuck, and just for you, Plain Old Chuck. Just for you, man. Jackson, Kaylin. Like I said, Matthew. Jerry. Let's talk about prepping. Matthew. And of course, you, Greg. I do appreciate all these channels taking the time during the live stream of it to come by while I was live and interacting and reconnecting with me on the channel here. And reconnecting with me, well, in the chat, obviously, right? I do appreciate it. So remember, everyone, take care. And remember, as the world changes, so must oneself. To reach a new level of skill and knowledge, one must practice. Now, a single person can't help everyone in this world, but one person can help someone in this world. And until the next video / live stream for me, it's peace out from the guy that's in creation mode up to 98.6% of the time. It's peace out from, you know who, the one known as Creative Redundancy, and also known as CR, like it says on the screen. Take care, everyone, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.